The 5th Ogun State Children's Parliament has adopted a resolution seeking an end to child abuse, neglect and exploitation in all parts of the state. This is just as the Ogun State Children's Parliament held its maiden plenary session at the Ogun State House of Assembly Chamber in Abuja, the state capital. The deliberation at the inaugural plenary will form the basis of our discussion on the program this week. I'm your regular host, Joshua Ogun is my name. Do stay with us. Welcome back. As Helen mentioned before the break, the 5th Ogun State Children's Parliament adopted a resolution seeking an end to child abuse, neglect and exploitation in all parts of the state. The sitting is the first since the establishment of the Children's Parliament in Ogun State and was presided over by the Speaker of the 5th Children's Parliament of Ogun State, Favour Ezekiel, representing children from Ifo local government area. The resolution to end child abuse, neglect and exploitation followed extensive debate by the children representatives through a motion titled Putting an End to Child Abuse, Neglect and Exploitation in Ogun State.
Children are the leaders of tomorrow. They are the future of our country. They are the foundation of our future. Imagine a good building with a bad foundation. There cannot be a good building with a bad foundation. Similarly, the future of Nigeria won't be as bright as it should be if some of its children are victims of child abuse, neglect and exploitation. As I said before, children are the leaders of tomorrow. They deserve love, protection, care, emotional support, medical care to make them grow into healthy and thriving adults. Yet, millions around the world face a different story. They face a different reality. As about 2023, about 60% of Nigerian children are suffering from all forms of abuse. We all have to stand up. We all have to work together to ensure that this is eradicated. Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, my fellow honorable members. Child abuse can occur in various forms. The first form I'd like to talk about is physical abuse. This involves the infliction of any physical harm or pain on a child. Imagine a father beating his child mercilessly just because he refused to do a simple house chore. He refused to wash the plate. Imagine a son having a mother or a father that is a drunkard. Some of these parents, they turn these children into punching bags.
Parliamentarian of constituency and also the vice chairperson of the House Committee on Women Affairs. And I'm rising up this morning to lend my voice on the motion that child abuse, neglect, and exploitation should be ended in our dear state, Ogun State. Today, we gather to address one of the most pressing issues facing our state, the protection of our children from abuse, neglect, and exploitation. As lawmakers, we bear a constitutional and moral duty to safeguard the right and future of every child in Ogun State. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, the statistics are alarming. 6 out of every child in Ogun State experience some form of violence, with only a fraction receiving help, and shockingly, fewer than 5% of abused children receive any form of support. While Nigeria's 1999 Constitution, as amended, does not explicitly enumerate child rights, it provides a foundation through Section 17, which mandates the state to ensure that children and young persons are protected from exploitation and moral or material neglect. However, the most comprehensive legal instrument is the Child Rights Act of 2009, which domesticates the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child and the African Charter on the Right and Welfare of the Child. Many laws exist on paper, but lack enforcement due to corruption, inadequate funding, and weak judicial process. Also, ample traditions like child marriage and female gender mutilation exist due to deep-rooted traditions. In addition, many parents, law enforcement agencies, and even judges are unaware of the Child Rights Act provision. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, my honorable members of this reputable assembly, what must be done to stop child abuse, neglect, and exploitation? Firstly, there must be full domestication of the CRA. We must push for all local government to adopt and enforce the Child Rights Act without delay. Also, there must be public awareness campaigns. Communities must be educated on child rights and reporting mechanism. In addition to this, There must be increments in the fund for child protection services, and social welfare systems must be strengthened to support victims. In conclusion, the future of Ogun State depends on the children and how we treat our children today. Let us move beyond the rhetoric and take decisive legislative and policy actions to end child abuse, neglect, and exploitation. As the great Nelson Mandela wanted, and I quote, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way it treats its children." Let us act now for our children, for our state, for our nation, and for generations to come.
I stand here today, Mr. Speaker, sir, to provide solutions and prevention of child abuse, neglect, and exploitation in our districts. The solution and prevention of child abuse, neglect, and exploitation cannot be done by a single man. It requires a multi-level approach across individuals, national, community, and society dimensions. At the individual level, we have preventive skill development. By implementing evidence-based programs to teach non-violent discipline, emotional validation, and age-appropriate expectations, training reduces harsh punishment and improves parent-child bonds. Why do we need parent-child bonds? We need parent-child bonds so that children could be able to speak to their parents on whatever issues they face. Also, we have child empowerment. What is child empowerment, you ask? This is educating children on body safety, consent, digital literacy, so as to reduce vulnerability to exploitation. Teaching children they have rights to be saved increases abuse disclosure. On the community level, we have public awareness campaigns, home visitation programs, and affordable service tools. Home visitation programs includes the community comes to various houses in the community to check whether the child are being abused or not. If the facilities are enough, if they have water, if they have food, if everything is meant to be the way they are meant to be. And then we have the policy level. This is prohibiting or completely eliminating corporal punishment. What is corporal punishment? These are harsh punishment. As my chairman has said, hot water, beating, anything that is just to the extreme side, these are corporal punishment. So by the policy level eliminating corporal punishment, we will move closer to eliminating child abuse in our districts.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members of this great parliament, I am Honorable Dushola Faruda, representing the wonderful children of Ijebu State constituency. I hereby move a motion for the adoption of all submissions made by all honorable members of this parliament for a resolution. I so moved.
Honorable members of this Representative Assembly, I, Honorable Oyekoya Emmanuel, representing Ijebu State constituency, hereby second the motion as moved by Honorable Dushola Faruda.
There is a same right to move a motion that all submissions made should be adopted to turn this submission into a resolution of this honorable house.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, and my fellow honorable members. I am Honorable Gideriza, representing the excellent children of Odeda constituency. I hereby move the motion that the state government and all concerned stakeholders formulate more policies to put an end to child abuse, neglect, and exploitation in Ogun State. This should serve as the resolution of this honorable house. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
The Speaker, Favour Ezekiel, later directed that the resolution be forwarded to the appropriate authorities for necessary action.
Fellow honorable members, I, Honorable Ilori Rosemary, representing the amazing children of Ijebu North constituency, hereby second the motion as moved by the majority leader, Honorable Ogun Teresa, that this motion be passed into a resolution.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against the motion, please say nay. The ayes have it, and so that.
We're just in the 5th set plenary sitting, and we delivered the resolution that child abuse, neglect, and exploitation in the state should be annulled and ended. So the reason why this children parliament has been created, has been established, is to stand up for the rights and fight for the rights of the children at the forefront of injustice. And so we are, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary have come together to make sure that children have a say in our society. I really want to thank those in power, the Right Honorable Speaker, and the Executive Governor, His Excellency, for the opportunity he has given the children to voice out their stress and their stress. And thank you a lot. Thank you very much.
We now go on a short break. The program continues shortly after this message. Do stay with us.
Information is power. Everyone wants power, so feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Good to have you back. In case you're just joining us, you're watching the program Young Parliamentarians, reaching you from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. We've been discussing highlights of the maiden plenary of the 5th session of the Ogun State Children Parliament. You can kindly join the conversation via the platforms scrolling on your screen. Moving on, the Children's Parliament later paid a courtesy call on the Ogun State House of Assembly led by the Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, in the company of his deputy, Bolanle Latifat Ajayi, and member representing Ifa 1 State Constituency, Honorable Folawewo Salami, where the resolution passed by the Children's Parliament was formally presented to the Speaker. Responding, the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Oludaisi Elemide, commended the brilliance of the Children Parliament, describing them as worthy representatives of their families and the state in general. He therefore promised to adopt the resolution as part of the input that would be incorporated into the relevant laws, especially those dealing with the rights of children in the state.
During October 1st and Children's Day, they will take us to the Liberty Stadium. I always dreamt of it, that one day I'll be in this state box. And now, anytime we go to this stadium, I'll be in the state box. In 1979, I was 15 years old. 78, I was 14. Who is 14 years old here among you? Who is 15? So that was your age. I would say I was a peer of you people. And I had a dream. And I pursued the dream. And God allowed it and brought it into fulfillment. Anytime anybody asks me, I said, to have become the Speaker of Ogun State is a long time dream of my very self. So I don't want you to take this opportunity given to you for granted. Yes, today is your day. This is your Speaker. You see, we bow down for him. We are not bowing down. We did not bow down for his personality, but because he is your Speaker. And out of the children, millions of children or hundreds of thousands of children in Ogun State, you are representing them. What's the population of Ogun State? As per the last census, maybe 2-3 million. But they say we have youth population. That is, youth, children and youth are more than adults. So you are representing children, you are even representing the youth in the parliament. So you that is representing my local government, that means if I have a child your age, you are representing him or her. So you don't take it for granted. You take it as a serious business that I've been counted worthy to represent my constituency. Just as I am. The only difference between us is that there is no remuneration. Abi, nobody is paying you salary, but they pay me salary. They pay us salary. Because it is full-time. Yours is not full-time. You are still in school. So that is why we may not be able to remunerate you. But aside that, the responsibility that is bestowed upon us is the same responsibility that you carry with you now. And you guard it, you should guard it jealously. Guard it jealously. I am quite impressed because there's one thing that is that if you are trained and you did not yield to training, commercial mistake here and there. Who are these children? Well, I've seen a set of very brilliant students. Clap for mistakes. Yes, as big as I am, as old as I am, as the speaker, I do make mistakes at times. So for you to have done that plenary, I will even give you 95%. Wow. The comportment, when our honorable from Ijebu was leading the motion, I said boo. Because with her agility, with her sense of seriousness. Okay, Farida.
Yes, sir.
From Ijebu,
yes,
Ijebu,
yes,
she was saying it with utmost. I said, okay, no problem. You can be sure that whatever can be translated into the resolution of this honorable house, we will do with this your resolution. What I'm saying is that whatever can be translated into a resolution, and at the same time, whatever can be incorporated into the current bill we are working on, this shall form one of the memorandum. You have told us what you want, the way you should be treated, Abby, yes. And we will incorporate it into the bill. And I want to request that when we will do the second reading of the stakeholders forum, the stakeholders meeting of the current one we are working on, maybe Oga Dija, Mama Dija will take that pain again to bring you. If she cannot bring all of you, she can bring the principal officers.
The coordinator of the Children Parliament, who doubles as the Commissioner for Women Affairs, expressed appreciation to the Speaker and his team over the historic hosting of the Children's Parliament at the Assembly Chamber. Let's hear from her.
Well, the ministry, because the Ministry of Women Affairs, we work with a lot of other MDAs. A lot of times we do a lot of multi-sectoral work. And as far as the Children Parliament is concerned, we work with the Ministry of Education, Science and Tech. You know, they have their ZEOs, the zonal offices and all that. So these children were picked based on merit. It was the Ministry of Education, Science and Tech that set the parameters through which each of them emerged. And the principal officers emerged through a sort of competition, like they vie among themselves. So this is not about maybe because somebody is from somewhere or someone is from, no, they contested for those positions and they were giving marks. The House of Assembly, which is the normal parliament, the third arm of government. Well, we equally have youth parliaments, but those ones sit in Abuja. Or at the state level, we have the children parliament, because it is the belief that the children should be, if we are talking about inclusion, there's no way you can leave the children behind. So last year, the 5th set of the children parliament was inaugurated. But today we are having, for the first time, the first of its kind, the children parliament sitting in a proper parliamentarian setting. And that is what we have witnessed today. If we truly want a country that can thrive, if we truly want a country that we can all be proud to call ours, we are always very eager to call the children of today the leaders of tomorrow. Then we have to begin to build them now. When we build them now, then we can be rest assured that our future is in safe hands. Through the Children Parliament, they have spoken. They defend the rights of the children from their various constituencies, as you have witnessed on the floor of the House. That is inclusion. We have to include them. It doesn't matter their age, they equally have something to contribute to the growth of the society, of this state and of the country at large, which is what they are doing. That is the importance of having the Children Parliament. Okay, we are always sitting looking at how can we better the lot of our children. And you could see that even the motion that the children moved today talking about child abuse, talking about child molestation, talking about, it's so sad that child abuse has been on the increase. Parents, we are not saying parents should not beat or correct their children, but you correct your child in love. A situation whereby a parent is saying, because my child lost 500 naira, then that mother will now put hot item on the child 12 different times. A situation whereby a woman will put fire under a child. Go to Kuto, go to Lafenwa, go to some of our markets. You see child labor. A child who is supposed to be in school being used as child labor. Go to some of these mining areas. You will see child labor ongoing there. That is why the motion of today is very important. And I am glad that they have submitted that to the House of Assembly. And they have urged the House of Assembly to turn it into another motion at their level that will be passed to the necessary stakeholders. So you can see that if we don't have children parliament, even the House of Assembly might not even know all these things are ongoing. But the children, being children themselves, they've been seeing it and they have now bring it to the forefront to say this is part of what is affecting us as children, and we want the government to look into it.
This is where we draw the curtain on the program, Young Parliamentarians, for this week. Hope you're inspired by the display of legislative prowess that came from the Ogun children legislators. For comments and observations, you can kindly reach out to us via the platforms showing on your screen. Till we meet again, remain a patriotic Nigerian. I remain your host, Joshua Ogun. Bye for now.